Do you love where you live? People in Ohio might think they live in the best place in the state. After all, you wouldn't spend your lives somewhere you truly didn't love, right? Not always. In fact, a Pew Research Center study determined that almost half of Americans would rather live somewhere else than they do now. Well, if you're in one of the Ohio cities we're about to highlight, odds are you don't want to go anywhere. The goal today is to analyze the best cities in Ohio to live. How did we do it? Well, we looked at low crime, great jobs, great weather, affordable housing, and a great education. We even looked at short commute times. You might be surprised by the results. So pull up a chair and put a smile on your face as we look at Ohio's best cities. Our first stop on our tour of Ohio's best city starts in Dublin. While lots of people in Ohio might be like, "Are you kidding me?" When you look at the data, it's actually a great place to live. Crime is the 10th lowest in the state, and they have the 3rd best public schools in Ohio. Plus, Dublin residents are in the top 10 for income levels. Our next best city to live in Ohio is Granville. The unemployment rate here is staggeringly low. It's relatively safe in Granville, and the housing market is solid. If you like sunny days, this is your place. It's the kind of place where you can just chill, yo. However, the public schools aren't as good as other districts in the state, so your kids might not be getting the best education. Continuing our best city tour of Ohio brings us to Pike. This awesome city ranks 11th in income levels, 5th in school spending, and there are hardly any vacant homes. That means lots of people want to live here. Crime is fairly low, and public schools are also solid. If you live in Pike, you're probably straight chillin'. If you're looking for a great place to live, you might want to consider Bellbrook. Believe it or not, Bellbrook families command some of the highest incomes in the state, and people here are pretty cheerful. Plus, each Bellbrook student gets about $1,000 more each than the state average. It sure beats some of the other middle-of-the-nowhere places in Ohio where you could call home, that's for sure. Montgomery comes in as the 6th best city to live in Ohio. While there are tons of places in Ohio where people are pretty backwoods, you won't find that here, where people earn on average the 3rd highest incomes overall. Montgomery is 7th lowest for crime too. However, the bad side of this area is commute times. There aren't too many other places in Ohio where you'll sit in a car longer going to and from work. Despite the fact that many people haven't considered it before, Worthington is actually a great place to live. Families are comfortable here and the housing market is doing just fine. And it seems like just about everyone in Worthington is in a great mood all the time. No surprises here that Wyoming is one of the best places to live in the state. Wyoming takes number 1 in 3 categories. It's the safest place to live, the unemployment rate's one of the lowest in the state, and surprisingly, commute times aren't that bad. Basically, if you don't have a job in Wyoming, it's because you simply refuse to work. Where's the 3rd best city to live in Ohio? You might be surprised to hear it, but it's Powell. Not only is Powell one of the most beautiful cities in the state, it has great schools and low crime. Plus, it's not very crowded. And if you want to get away to a bigger city, it's easy. Yeah, people in Powell have it made. This might not be a very popular opinion, but when you look at the data, Upper Arlington is the 2nd best city you can live in Ohio. People here are really successful, and folks in UA earn pretty decent salaries, thank you very much. That means you can retire a lot earlier. Plus, you don't have to watch your back all the time, since crime is really low. And where's the best city to live in Ohio? That would be Grandview Heights. Surprised? Households in Grandview Heights are in the top 10 when it comes to average incomes. And not only do Grandview Heights folks earn great salaries, but most of them are employed. Plus, you have a ton of stuff to do within a short drive. Factor in lots of fun, low crime, and lots of friendly people, and you've got one hell of a place to call home. If you live in Grandview Heights or any of the other Ohio cities we mentioned, congratulations, you certainly have a reason to smile.